I'm trying to reach Linda Gates. Is this the right number?
Yes, this is Linda. May I ask who this is?
My name is Jeremy. I'm the father of Braden. I heard from my lawyer you turned down our offer to settle out of court. He gave me your contact info so I could reach out to you. How is your daughter? Is she still unconscious?
Yes, she is.
I see. That's not good, huh? Have you been in the hospital this whole time? You haven't gone home to sleep yet?
No, I haven't.
So that's why you didn't make the right decision about the settlement. You're way behind on sleep. Makes sense.
The right decision? Is there a reason why you're texting me? You didn't get in touch with me to make sure I was getting enough sleep, did you? Get to the point.
Well, that was part of it. I wanted to talk to you directly to see if I can persuade you to do what's right. It was such an unlucky accident. Of all the times for him to get wrapped up in this, he goes and does this when I'm tied up in work.
An unlucky accident? Are you out of your mind? Your son ran over my daughter with his car. Stephanie is unconscious and fighting for her life right now. I don't think you're taking this seriously enough.
Please calm down, Mrs. Gates. Being angry isn't going to help your daughter wake up. Let's talk about this like two level-headed adults. I'd like to talk about how to make this right. You see, my son Braden is the heir to my company. I'd really like to settle this now so we don't have to go to court. How much would it take to put this little accident behind us? Name a price, and I'd be happy to meet your wishes.
You think money is going to heal my daughter's injuries? Not only that, there's no scenario where you do not pay me. Anyway, out of court or not, stop pretending to be righteous.
My son has had a lot of time to think about what he's done. Not like it was on purpose, though. Like I said, this is all just terribly unlucky. If word gets out and we go to court, my son's future would be ruined. You wouldn't want that, would you? That's much worse than what he did to your daughter.
How dare you? My daughter might never wake up again because of what your son did. How can you be so insensitive?
What are you talking about? Your daughter and my son come from very different worlds. He's an elite, you know. It seems like you don't know who I am. I'm the CEO of F Industries. And then there's you, who's just a single mother. Do you see where I'm going with this? I imagine life must be pretty tough for you. That's why I'm generously saying I'll pay for all the medical bills plus whatever you want on top of it. Is there any specific reason why you'd turn that down?
You go on and on about how rich you are, but you haven't once apologized for what your son did. I've never heard such arrogance in my life. Now, I'm definitely not taking your money.
Is that so? I've met many crazy people in my life, but never anyone crazy enough to turn down a deal like this. Unfortunately, I'm going to take every measure I can to prevent my son from being seen as a criminal. I'll ask you one final time. Are you sure you don't want my money?
You haven't apologized, and on top of that, you pretending like your son hasn't done anything wrong. I'm not accepting a dime from you. Nothing is going to change my mind.
I understand. That's fine with me. Do whatever you think you need to. I'll be doing the same. I'll do whatever it takes to protect my son. I won't make such a generous offer to you again. Don't come crying to me asking for money if things don't turn out the way you want. I hope you don't regret your decision.
How can you be so cold? Do you even have a soul? My daughter is literally fighting for her life right now. You're a parent too? Can't you understand how I feel?
Don't try and pull that with me. You're wasting your time. I came to you with an extremely generous offer, and you've turned it down. There's nothing more we need to discuss.
Jeremy, what do you think you're doing? The police just left my house. They were telling me all sorts of nonsense. They said Stephanie stole your son's car and caused the accident. Why would they say that? You need to explain yourself. I know you're behind this.
You sure like to get excited? I'm not sure what you're implying. Oh, by the way, I heard your daughter was kicked out of her university. They were much kinder on my Braden. He still goes there, of course. I'm glad justice was served.
How is that? Right? Your son should be the one getting kicked out.
Why would he be forced to leave? He's done nothing wrong. Your daughter, on the other hand, stole my poor boy's car and caused this whole thing. You must still be in shock from the accident to remember the details of what really happened. Maybe you should see a doctor for memory loss. Does Alzheimer's run in your family?
Shut your mouth. Your arrogance is disgusting. No matter how much power you think you have, you can't distort the truth. There are medical reports that contradict what you're saying. Why would you lie about my daughter stealing your son's car? Don't you have a conscience? If you were willing to keep me quiet with money, I bet you tried to do the same thing to the college and the police.
I beg your pardon? Are you suggesting I used my tremendous wealth to make this whole thing disappear?
What other reason would there be? No matter how you look at it, that's exactly what you were trying to do.
Mrs. Gates, you certainly have a wild imagination. I think you've been watching too much TV. I definitely am quite wealthy. I don't think you could quite fathom the amount of wealth I have, but I'm still just an average citizen.
That's a bit of a contradiction, don't you think? You're trying to distort the facts of the accident to protect your son from being held accountable.
I don't appreciate being made out to be the villain. In fact, I believe if you spread such lies about me or my son, it's ground for slander. If you don't want to live an even more miserable life than you do already, I'd keep quiet. You should just taken my offer. Unfortunately, that's off the table now.
You're a sleazy piece of human garbage. My life isn't miserable whatsoever. Everything was fine until your son caused all of this. If anything, our lives are miserable ever since you and your son came into them.
Like I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my son. I said I hoped you wouldn't regret your decision, but it seems like you are. This is all because you didn't take my extremely gracious offer. I think you need to ask yourself whose fault all of this is.
I don't regret for a second not taking your money. I had no idea this is what the consequence of that would be. I'm not letting you get away with this. I'll do whatever it takes to protect my daughter. My daughter is the victim here, not your son. I won't believe anything otherwise. She could have died.
What could a single mother like you possibly do? There's nothing money can't buy.
Yes, there is, you arrogant pig. You'll learn that soon enough.
You're free to think whatever you'd like. Go ahead. Prove me wrong if you think you can. I've always heard about poor people being good at getting through adversity. Here's your chance. Good luck. You'll need it. I know you're behind this. What were you thinking? Delete that video. You can't just put a video of my son on the internet without his permission. That's illegal. I'm going to sue you.
What do you mean?
Don't play stupid. I saw the video you posted to Facebook. My son was in tears when he showed me. He said everyone at school saw it. Did you think you'd get away with this?
Oh, do you mean the video of your son bragging that his daddy made the accident he caused go away because he's rich? I don't know anything about that. I wasn't the one who took that video. It seems like someone at his university did. My friend told me about the video, so I watched it. Your son is a real piece of work. Like father, like son, right? Your son is pretty famous around. Or should I say, campus now. Infamous. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the people he's bullied in the past took that video to get back at him.
What are you saying? My Braden would never bully anyone. He's beloved by everyone at his school.
Is that right? I heard something much different than that. I heard that he tries to force himself on all the girls in his class and he's constantly looking down on other people. He physically bullies other students and makes people go to his lectures. For him, when he doesn't feel like going to class, sounds like he was pretty well known around campus even before that video came out. I guess you don't know your son as well as you thought you did. Instead of trying to bribe me, maybe you should spend more time getting to know your family.
How dare you speak that way about my son?
I don't think I'm saying anything that isn't true. Think about it. When that video came out, did anyone come to your son's side? Was there anyone who was worried about him and tried to help him? Since it was someone at the same school as him, I'm sure if the other students worked together, they'd be able to figure out who took that video. I mean, even if they find the person who took the video, they were smart enough not to show your son's face, so I don't think they'd be in any trouble.
What's your point?
My point is that there are things money can't buy. Right now, my daughter's friends have a petition going about her wrongful dismissal from the school. They know as well as I do the allegations against her are absolutely false. They're also trying to get to the bottom of what really happened. She has so many people who are coming to her side to defend her. Right now, that video of your son is going viral just among the university students. It's only a matter of time before it's shared enough for the whole world to see it. You can't hide what you've done for much longer. If you were smart, you'd own up to what your son did and stop lying to the school and the police. If you really care about your son as much as you say you do, you'd stop digging his grave by trying to get away with what he did. He's old enough to take responsibility for his actions.
Are you an idiot? There's absolutely no way I'll change my story. I've already hired a very expensive lawyer who specializes in digital law. I'm going after all your daughter's friends who are responsible for this slander against my son. You're trying to crush my son's future. Don't you feel bad about that? A poor woman is never going to win against an elite like me. Get that thought out of your head.
Is that so? Looks like I can't change your mind. If that's the case, I'm gonna come at you full force. I never wanted to do this, but...
Oh, do you have some trick up your sleeve? Don't tell me you think that little petition is gonna do anything.
You'll find out soon enough.
What did you do? I just got a call from my biggest client saying he won't be doing business with me moving forward. I know you're behind this.
Oh, that was faster than I thought. Why don't you check Facebook?
What? Why? Why did that congressman comment on the video? Are you paying all these people?
No, I didn't. They're my friends. Your client, that politician, and many more. We all went to the same university. We even lived in the same dorm. We're still very close. You may be right about me not being able to do something as a single mother, but I have plenty of important people who care about me to help. Of course, I don't have nearly as much money as you claim to have, but I have something more valuable than money. I have people who truly care about me.
You're a fool. Why would they help you? What would they have to gain from doing this?
It's not about gaining anything. They wanted to help me and my daughter in our time of need. I alone don't have any power, but the people I know do. As a businessman, you understand the value of connections, don't you?
Shut your mouth. You live a completely pathetic existence. You're too stupid to realize none of this is going to change anything. The police already believe the story I told them. They believe that your daughter stole my Braden's car and caused the accident. Do you think calling up your little politician friends is going to change anything? This is all just going to be a 1-minute segment on the nightly news, then blow over.
Oh, don't think that's the only thing I have against you. I asked one of my other friends at the police department to reopen the investigation.
You did? You. You little. How many friends do you have? Who are you?
I'll talk to him myself. Tell me the name of the cop that, sorry, I can't do that. After he looks into the case, he told me he's going to do an internal audit of all the officers assigned to the investigation. All the ones you bribed. Unfortunately, you won't be able to bribe my friend or the detectives he's going to bring with him. You're going to pay for what you've done. This doesn't involve just you or your son anymore. You made a huge mistake bribing those police officers. That's a felony.
Just hang on a second. Okay, fine. You win. Just put a stop to all of this. My son will take responsibility for what he's done. If he admits what he did, you'll make this all stop, right?
It's not about what your son did anymore. I can't change the past and the crimes you've committed.
I can't let this happen. What would happen to my company if I get thrown in jail? All of my employees would be left without jobs. It would all be your fault.
That has absolutely nothing to do with me. This is a result of what you did. If you were worried about your employees, why would you commit a felony in the first place? Plus, I don't think if you got arrested, your company would go under. I'm sure if your son took over like you planned, everything would be just fine.
Do you enjoy all the pain you're putting me and my family through? You're sadistic. You're foolish if you think you can get away with doing this to someone like me.
Someone like you, just because you have money, doesn't make you a better person. You've looked down on me from the minute you started talking to me. From the very beginning, I said what I wanted from you. It wasn't money. It was an apology. Obviously, money can't buy empathy or common sense either.
Okay, fine. Sorry. Is that what you wanted to hear? I apologized like you wanted now. Do what I say.
The only way I'll believe that weak apology is if you back it up by taking responsibility for what you and your son did. I can't put into words how much stress you two have between almost killing my daughter and committing felonies to try and cover it up. I still pray every single day that my precious Stephanie will open her eyes again. You don't have any idea how I feel because you're a soulless monster. You haven't thought for a second what it would be like if you were in my shoes. Paying to cover up a crime doesn't count as showing someone you truly love and care about them.
Shut your mouth. I'm far superior to you in every way possible. You have no right to try and preach to me. You think you're on the same level as me because you feel bad about your daughter? If anyone's arrogant, it's you. You're an insect, and I'm an alpha.
I feel bad for you. You must lead a hollow life if you always try to assert your status on everyone else. You're not doing it to compensate for anything, are you? Being born into money or being wealthy definitely makes life easier. There's no denying you've attained financial success in your life. Your pockets are full, but your heart is empty. All I see is a sad, hollow man who uses his money as a way to assign self-worth.
Money rules everything. If you don't have it, you're dead. Plain and simple. I'll make you an offer one final time. How much is it going to take to make this all go away? I'll give you enough so you'll never have to work again.
I don't want your money. As long as my daughter wakes up, I don't need anything else. I don't care if I have 2 cents to my name as long as I can have my daughter back.
You're an imbecile. The biggest I've ever met. You're poor and stupid. I'm surprised you've made it this far in life.
I'm fine with that. I'd rather be poor and stupid than greedy and arrogant. Money won't do anything to help Stephanie open her eyes again. Keep your rotten money. I don't need anything else but my daughter. After that, Jeremy and Braden were investigated for their crimes and eventually arrested. Their faces were plastered all over the news. The headlines read, CO commits felony to cover son's crimes. It really hits the nail on the head, if you ask me. I'm happy that the truth finally came out. More than anything, I'm glad Stephanie was finally treated as the victim rather than the villain. Not long after the news broke, Stephanie finally regained consciousness. Now, she's back at home getting treatment for her injuries. The school was under tremendous pressure from the public and the media, so they reversed their decision to expel Stephanie. She'll be back for the fall semester. It turns out the police weren't the only people Jeremy bribed. He also slipped money to a number of administrators at the university to get Stephanie kicked out of school. They were all named, shamed, and forced to resign. Braden's in jail now for running over Stephanie. Unlike his father, he feels guilty for what he did and sends letters to my daughter every month apologizing for what he did. I still have mixed emotions towards him. However, Stephanie went to visit him in jail the other day. The moment Braden saw her, he broke down crying, saying how sorry he was for what he did. Stephanie told him that she forgives him. When I asked Stephanie why she forgave him, she said, "He's just the product of his father." I could tell he really felt bad about what he did. He's still young and stupid, but it seems like he learned his lesson. I was proud of her maturity and open-mindedness. She definitely shares those traits with my late husband. It's funny how sometimes children are the ones who teach parents things. She taught me the importance of not holding a grudge if someone is truly sorry for what they've done. I remember when Jeremy said there isn't anything money can't buy. He was almost right. Sure, 99 of things in this world can be bought, but the most important things can't be bought. My friends didn't come to my side because of money. Stephanie's friends didn't help her because of money. Love, compassion, true friendship, these are things money can't buy. Good thing Jeremy is rich because he's certainly paying for what he's done now.